What up, everybody? It's the Rottweiler Patriots. I'm Vegas,
I'm T-Bone.
and we're coming at you with another video today to talk about the new England Patriots announce Jerod Mayo as their next head coach. And I'm honestly excited. Like I expressed in our Belichick video yesterday, would have preferred to keep Belichick for next year, but that's not a possibility anymore. And Jerod was a guy who, for the last year or so, I thought would probably be the next head coach of the New England Patriots once Belichick was done. And it turns out the reason he was able to get hired the next day was actually because they included a successor clause in his contract that allowed them to bypass the entire hiring process. But Jerod Mayo is a guy who is very well liked in the Patriots locker room. A bunch of players have already come out with social media posts and really excited that he is the guy. And it's very clear with how quickly Robert Kraft made the decision to hire him that Kraft really likes him, really trusts him, is really happy with what he's seen so far. And he got mentored by the greatest head coach of all time. But he's also he's the youngest coach in the NFL, who is also going to be much more built to connect with younger people, which I think there might have been some complaints. I'm not sure exactly where Belichick lined up with that. I don't think there was some level of problem with that, but there's also a lot of young guys who also really, really like him. So, I don't know. But Jerod is a guy who I trust with this team, and I'm excited to see what he's able to do. I think this is a good hire by the New England Patriots. He was one of two guys who I would have he would be really good hire. The other guy was Mike Vrabel. I know a lot of Patriots fans wanted him, but I'm not too upset that we didn't get Vrabel. It's not the end of the world for me. I still think Mayo is an excellent hire, and the big difference between Mayo and Vrabel is Vrabel's proven. Mayo's not. Well, that's because Mayo's 37. It's his first head coaching gig. Everybody's got to have their first head coaching gig at some point. But Mayo's a guy who knows the organization, knows the players, has great relationships with everybody, and I trust to build a great culture in New England. And so I'm really excited about this head coaching hiring. I'm glad that, New England was able to figure things out pretty quickly, get the ball moving forward. It makes a lot of other people's lives easier, makes a lot of other decisions easier, especially with the amount of free agents New England has this offseason. T-Bone, I want to get your thoughts on this.
Well, they're certainly moving quick. The Pats wasted no time. They moved in. It's clear that they got their guy. There's no, correct me if I'm wrong, there was no other,
no other candidates.
No other candidates. No.
We got to bypass the entire process because of the successor clause we put in Mayo's extension last year.
Which is nice. And that just shows you Robert Kraft's always thinking, always plotting and moving. One of the youngest coach in the NFL, Sean McVay.
No, he's a month younger than McVay. He is officially the youngest coach. We went from the oldest coach in the NFL to the youngest coach in the NFL.
So, but still, very much, at 37, that is very, very young. But clearly, it's, from what I've seen, very accomplished as a coach. Very respected as a coach, very good as a player, very crucial, and just well liked by the whole franchise. And that's really what you want. That's what you want. You want a guy that's got the locker room, and that's what you have. So from the jump, already good decision, because you've got a guy that the locker room already has. He's already won him over. So that's great. That's so important. It is. I don't even know how important I can state it. It's going to be like a broken record. It is so empirically important that your coach and your coaching staff has the locker room and has those guys.
I think you can speak from experience with the Carolina Panthers.
I'm burned. I'm wounded by it. Because if you have players that think that the coach has their back and thinks that the coach respects them and thinks that coach thinks that the player respect them and both of that, that's perfect. That's great. You're already in a better spot than you were. So that's great. And I think it's a good pick. And I know Vegas, you called this what? I want to say it was under 2 years ago, but it was a year and a half ago.
I think it was closer to a year ago. I don't think it was a year and a half ago. I don't think I was that far back because that and I was more like I had seen some speculation and I saw that we had giving him that contract extension told me and a lot of other people had the same thought at the time that we were probably looking at trying to make Mayo our successor, especially when we extended him when other teams were trying to interview him for their head coaching vacancy. So
yeah,
they kind of did tip their hand a little bit in that respect. And I wasn't the only one who thought of that. Like I said, there are other people who saw those same moves at the time and were like, oh, this is probably what they've got in store. And
yeah,
like the plan was to keep him around. I don't think that New England expected to let go of Belichick as soon as they did, but given everything, given this past year and given the organization's unique position with the high draft picks, the lots of cap, the chance to really shape the team for the future this offseason, I am not surprised that Robert Kraft made the decision that he did. And another thing I find interesting as well, with Matthew Slater retiring, Matthew Slater was the big leader of this team. So you lose Belichick, you lose Slater. Those are the two big leaders of the team. And so, there's obviously younger guys who are, kind of up-and-coming leaders, but in general, the entire leadership regime for both players and coaches is changing completely. So, it is a new era, a new face of the New England Patriots on multiple different fronts.
Yeah.
So, but I have a lot of optimism right now. Like I said, Mayo was one of the two guys who I would have been really, really happy with if he was Belichick's replacement, and to no surprise, New England got it out of the way. Made things quick, makes things easier on the players, makes things easier when trying to figure out the general manager, front office situation, makes everything so much easier for everybody. There's no uncertainty, there's no this, there's no that. I like the decisiveness, I like the quickness. I think that's going to be beneficial for us. 8th team to fire a head coach, first one to hire one. So, yeah, so I'm really excited. I feel optimistic about the New England Patriots going forward. Obviously, more decisions have to be made. Obviously, a big offseason with the signings that we're going to have to make, bringing guys back, bringing new guys in, figuring out what we're going to want to do in the draft, and that's stuff for us to talk about in another video. This video is more about Jerod getting hired, and quite frankly, I'm really excited. I loved watching him as a player. He's been fun to watch him grow as a coach, and he's still probably my favorite player to select on the defense in Madden 12, because that's the Madden that I play on my R2-D2 Xbox 360 with the C-3PO controller, the commercial of which has Chris Pratt getting in his underwear, by the way. Look it up. It's awesome.
Which I have beaten Vegas in a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so when we play Madden, there's this really weird phenomenon where he will throw the ball straight to my defenders, and I will, user pick it every single time, and they just never... User pick, no user pick, it doesn't matter, they never catch the ball. Ever. He 20 times a game, I'll get 0 interceptions. I throw the ball in the general vicinity of this defender once. One-handed leaping interception. Better than Odell. I'm like, what are we... And then he'll beat me by 1 possession because of it. It's a weird phenomenon, to say the least. Yeah, no, Mayo's one of my number one guys to go on and then blitz with, because my style is I rush the quarterback and then try to switch over to the defender if necessary. Although Madden 12, the movement's a little too. The movement in Madden 12 is very wherever your joystick goes, your player goes. There's no softness to it like you see in the modern game. You're you have a little too much control. And it also doesn't always know which player I want to switch to. Sometimes I'm trying to switch to a different defensive lineman, and it's like, no, we're going to go to the cornerback, and then they're going to get a free touchdown because of it. But anyways, yeah, Jerod Mayo, hired for the England Patriots. I'm excited about this hire. I really like this hire a lot. I think Jerod Mayo is a very smart individual. I think everyone has been singing his praises. Players, former players, coaches. I mean, Belichick really liked him. And the fact that he got to learn from Bill Belichick, I am excited about. You know, there have been several head coaches who've gotten to learn from Bill Belichick. Some have done better than others. Vrabel is, the most notable example. McDaniels is kind of the failure, but McDaniels is also kind of has some problems as a human being, and those really come out when you're a head coach, so no surprise he wasn't a failure there. But regardless, really, really excited about this hire, and excited to see what the Patriots are going to do next. T-Bone, you got any final thoughts?
It's just interesting to me that since 1993, so that's 30 years, right? Is that 30 years? 31 years?
1993, 30 years.
Okay, so from 1993 to now, you've had 3 coaches. I mean, I guess 4 now.
4,
counting Mayo.
If you count Mayo.
Yeah, you've got Bill Parcells,
Pete Carroll,
and Belichick.
Yep.
And Mayo. So that's...
And I love how our last 3 coaches are Parcells, Carroll, Mayo. Like, 3 of probably the top 10 coaches of all time.
Yeah, so it's nice.
Parcells, literally the man who made Bill Belichick.
Yep.
And so Bill beat him in the playoffs with the Browns, which until a few years ago was the Browns' last playoff win. Although that's probably going to change this year.
So, if trends show anything, then you get a nice, lovely future.
Yeah. No, I'm, again, excited about Jerod. I think he'll be a good coach for New England. Obviously, unproven, but everyone has to start unproven.
Oh, yeah. I think this is I just think this is a great start. You guys have already done the first right thing you need to do, which is good.
Yeah. And Jerod has more than earned the opportunity to coach this team. Like, completely. And it also, I think it would have, we gave him the expectation you're probably going to be the next coach to then turn around and not give it to him. Kraft has shown a lot of class throughout all of this, and he was like, I didn't want to trade Tom, I didn't want to trade Bill, because that would be dishonorable to them. They should be able to choose what they do next. I shouldn't have that control over them, and I respect Kraft for that. So,
real quick, I just want to say it's very, very seldom are you going to see Robert Kraft without class, if ever. At any time I hear Robert Kraft, I think class.
Just don't ask that one massage parlor down in Florida.
Okay. Even Robert Kraft is not safe. He's like if Jerry Jones did everything right always, and covered stuff up.
Oh my god, yeah. So, really excited about this. Really optimistic. I feel good today about the future of the New England Patriots. I think it is in good hands. And so I'd like to congratulate Jerod Mayo on being hired for the head coach of the New England Patriots. Please be sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. We would love to hear what you all have to say. And that is going to do it for us today. Thank you all so very much for watching. Please be sure to hit the like button. Please be sure to subscribe. And we will see you all in the next video.